Hi guys, and welcome to episode 3 of Finish It Friday. So we're going to take our card pieces that we did on Wednesday, and we're going to go ahead and put those out. I'm going to try to keep them in the right order this time. So these are the items that are left as far as our focal piece. So I want to make sure I have the right ones here. I want to make sure I have 1.5. Yes, so there's 1.5. I want to make sure I have 1.25. Then I have 3/4. Make sure I have, so that's that one. So there's 3/4, and there's 1/2 inch. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm essentially going to draw around this on this grid paper. This is for the Stamparatus. I don't show the Stamparatus too often because not everyone has it, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip that card over since I made a mark on it. So I'm putting just like a grid line here. And then I'm going to go through and mark the individual pieces. Oh my goodness, it shouldn't take this long, should it? And this is just for a guideline because we're going to be stamping. All right, so let's go ahead, keep those in the same order. We'll flip them over if necessary. We're going to put this on the Stamparatus. Now I'm going to be using the Happiness Abounds, which these are the photopolymer. So you want to have your little mat on there. Now just so you know, I always put a couple of sheets. These are those magnetic vent covers. I always put a couple sheets of those underneath too. I think it helps for stamping in the corner. So let's go ahead and put that there. I'm going to go ahead and line this up the way I want it to. I'm going to use this Happiness Abounds. And I'm just going to kind of, and those little dots are so I know where the cut is when you go to cut it. See? Because I always have a hard time cutting it. So let's see. I'm going to lay this out how I think I want it to be inside my card area. I want to leave I think I just want to do it like that, and then I'll come in and add the leaves after the fact. Okay. Yeah, that's enough. All right, then I'm going to pick them up. Oops, let me go ahead and put my magnet down. Make sure it's in the corner. You know what? Put the magnet over there. I hate having it at the edge. All right, so that still looks good with how I want it to be. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here. I'm going to ink this up. Let me put that underneath there. I'm going to ink this up. So there's one piece. Let me do the second piece here, kind of putting it within that line. And this one's going to go right there. Now I can see that I don't need to ink up this flower anymore because it's not going to touch. So let me just go ahead and concentrate on those two flowers. And the final piece. I only need to do the one flower. I'm going to flip this over so you don't see that marker mark. And there you go. Now, yes, could you stamp this before you cut it all? You could, but I think then the cut lines kind of interfere with the pattern. Could you stamp this all at once, laying on the stamparatus? Yes, but sometimes I think you get a little bit of a shadow effect. All right, so let's go ahead, come over here. I'm going to grab a couple markers. No, I'm not going to do the markers. I think I'm going to do the... I'm going to use the blends, not the markers. I'm just going to go over. This is what I like about the blends. You don't have to go straight to the line if you don't want to. And then you just come back over it. Because unlike the Stamp-A-Rite markers, who have their own place for things, don't get me wrong, you don't leave lines when you come back over a second time. So let's go ahead and finish that. I'm going to do this one. Ooh, that rich raspberry is very dark. Much darker than my card. So I'm going to go over that with my color lifter. And I'm going to go ahead and just do a couple the center there. And finish it up here. All right, let me get my color lifter. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of go over that. Now this takes a while for the effect to show up. So if you don't think it's done anything, wait a few seconds and then you'll see it. Go over here, get this. See how that's starting to come out there? It really tones down that color. All right, so now let's go ahead and put this on our pieces. All right. My stamp and seal. This is the one that might be almost out. These were the ones that we ran through the embossing folder. Now if you want to put these down one at a time on your cardstock to make sure that they're lined up, you can. By lined up, I mean your vanilla pieces, of course. I'm just eyeballing it. All right. Oh, that one's a little off. Let me see if I can. Hopefully I didn't push that down. And another nice thing is when it's dry embossed like that, sometimes, this is what I usually use, the tear and tape. Sometimes it doesn't get really good adhesion because you're talking about, you know, ups and downs, valleys, different variations. So what I like to do when I'm placing these, oh, look, it's not ripping it. I thought for sure I'd rip it. I like making my edge on the end piece and then the opposite end piece. And then I'll put in the two middle pieces. You see that gnat? Sorry. I watered my orchid. And I don't know if there was a little gnat came about. Oh, there we go. All right, so I made that a little bigger than I wanted it to be. Should move that one over a little bit more. Okay, so now we're going to go with this. And I'm going to do, let's see. Do I want to do that one? I think so. Let me go ahead and grab out a rock. Is this one long enough? Nope. Sorry, they're really noisy when they're in that drawer. Alright. Oh, I should have my piercing mat because it's a photopolymer stamp. Hopefully that's a good inking. A little crooked. Let me try it again on the other side. I'm doing it down and to the right. Because at this point, if you wanted to add some jewels there, you can. Let me show that drawer, grab a couple pop-ups. Throw those away. Line it up where you want it to be. And then let me come over here to my iridescent. I'm going to put 3 little ones on here. And then I think I'm going to put 3 little ones. I'll cover up that little spot. I don't like that spot. 3 little ones there to kind of fill in that area. Okay, so there you have it. Oh, goodness. There's our card finished. Let's show some other examples. Here's one where we layered and did the designer paper as your focal point. Here's one where we didn't even put that second layer in. We just put that first layer in. Here's one where we tore the edges. So we took all those pieces and we tore them by hand towards us so it leaves that nice edge. And then here's one where we did vertically. So there you are. The original idea came from, I don't know, this is when back in the technique days that I did technique classes, but I'm not sure what the technique was, or if this was just the template and then we did techniques on the different layers. Not sure, but I found it when I was cleaning up my stamp drawer. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you really like it, tell your friends about it. I'm still trying to get to 500. I know it's not a lofty goal, but for me it is, and I just want to share my joy of stamping with you. Thanks a lot. Have a great Friday.